Hey everybody, I am here with Sage, and if you don't know Sage LaJoy, she is one of our council member, and you've got a couple of boys around here. How old are your sons?
They are 11 in 5th grade and 7 in 2nd grade.
And Trent and Dax.
Trent and Dax, yeah.
Awesome. And how long have you guys lived in Melbourne Beach?
We have been here since 2004, I believe.
Yeah, so you guys have been here a little while.
Yeah,
And
we
so-
love it here. Back and forth. We've lived in California, Texas a couple times, and yeah, we always come back here because it's home.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of us can relate to is we've been some other places, California, Ohio, and we've decided to make this our forever home. And definitely a
Such
special
good
place.
Such a good place.
So I actually talked to Sage at church on Sunday in the middle of the sermon because we were talking about being a runner, and I asked you a question about shoes. It was genuinely an ADD moment where I had a question in the middle of a sermon, and I asked a person in the crowd.
Good
so,
question.
So what's the thing about shoes? Like, how do you know that your shoes are ready for a marathon?
Yeah, well, you train in your shoes, but that's a lot of training. So when you're almost done with your training, you make sure maybe replace your shoes. Make sure you're going into it with fresh shoes, but run on them a couple times first to make sure they're going to be comfortable. No weird, feelings or things sticking into your feet or anything. But yeah, fresh shoes, definitely.
Jackie just told me to get Asics, and I've gotten them, and they are better support and arch. And is that what do you run with?
Asics all the way.
Yeah.
They're
I don't
good.
know.
Can't go wrong.
I've always liked my Nikes, but the Asics are pretty comfortable.
Asics for runners.
All right, so the text that we were in on Sunday is Hebrews 12. It says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross." And let me just stop there because that's kind of the section that I wanted to ask you about. And I asked you, why do you run? Because, it's hard. But as I read this verse, it says, for the joy set before him, he endured. He chose to do something painful, and he did it joyfully. And your response to me was, actually, when I run, it's peaceful and it helps me. So help me understand kind of how you connect with that.
When I go out for a run, it is no distractions. I don't bring my phone. I'm not a person who has gadgets and everything. I have my watch and that's it. I don't even have an Apple Watch. So no one can get in touch with me. I'm out there on my own. It gives me time to think. It gives me time to pray. It gives me time to listen to God and what he has for me. And I just find that so peaceful, and it brings so much clarity to me, and it just calms me. And when I get back from a run, I'm always in a much better mood than I started out in.
Yeah. Guys, is that true? When mommy comes back from a run, is she in a better mood?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's the truth right there. That's definitely true. Yeah. So I think that we many times in life would agree that most people in our culture that we try to avoid anything difficult. And I think that the reality of this text is that he chose to endure the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners so that you will not grow weary and lose heart, that he chose to do something difficult because there was an outcome. And it said in the text, run as if you want to win, is what Paul wrote. That we should run with perseverance. And that idea of let's not avoid it, but let's endure it because it's worth it. And what's the farthest? I know you've done more than a marathon.
Mm-hmm. I've done. We used to do Ironman triathlon, so that is the huge event that ends with a marathon.
Okay.
And then I have done multiple marathons, like Boston Marathon. I've done 50K runs.
That's
more than a marathon, and I've done one 50-mile run.
Okay.
And that one, that was.
I remember that one.
That was a struggle, but.
And why'd you do it?
I did it because I just, sometimes you just have to see what you can do, what you're capable of. You want to see how far you can go without giving up. And you know what? You just realize that you don't have to give up as long as you keep your legs moving and you keep going forward and you keep your eye on the finish line, your eye on the prize. You're going to get there.
Now, did you do that on purpose?
No.
Quote scripture?
No. I mean, it's just in here.
Yeah.
What can I do?
But that's just the reality. It says, fix your eyes on Jesus. And so I think it's just so deep, just so much that we can pull from this, that running illustration is just so applicable that if we keep our eyes on Jesus. Do you ever look behind you to see, like, if people are catching up to you when you race?
No, because just like in scripture, I'm running my own race.
Yeah.
And no matter what, I know that if someone's coming up behind me and they're going to pass me, then they're running their race. But
Yeah.
I know that I'm doing my best, and I'm going to keep going forward and keep doing my best and not stop and not look back. And that's my race, and that's what I have for my plans, and however it ends up is great. But if someone passes me, that's fine too, because that's how they're going to run it.
And I'm so glad that we talked about this, because this wasn't in the message at all. And when you think about like running a race to win, it's like, well, if you're not in first place, then what? You're the first place loser, right? But that's not really what this text is saying. This is just saying run with endurance, run with perseverance, and to run knowing that someday when this race is over, that we can stand in front of God and say, I ran the best race I possibly could. And just like you do at the end of your races. So, all right, guys, thanks for getting to know Sage. She's one of our council members. Trent, you can come around and wave if you want.
Oh, I videotaped it.
All right, thanks for Trent making that happen. And we'll see you guys soon. God bless.